Mm-mm. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Not Creda. I hope that you all are doing well. I hope that your weekend was amazing, and today is the best day of the first day of the week that you could possibly have. Today, we're going to be making some flowers, and what I want to say is that I prefer to do assembly line flowers. Once I figure out the design that I want to use, I'll go ahead and just get X amount of flowers and just have them laid out, displayed out like I have kind of right here. And so today we're going to be using these three different patterns of flower, and we're going to make a few flowers, and I think we'll do another rose just because. So I have pulled these out. Now what I would say is that I have a big box. Well, it's a shoe box, not a big box, but it's a shoe box of different types of petals and things like that. And I would recommend, and I'm going to do that today, I would recommend that you go through your petals if you have them all like meshed together, which I know a lot of people are not like me. But if you are like me, I recommend you get unlike that and just sort of so you can just pull out what you need. And if you are into keeping all the same things with like things, then put all the same shapes with the same shapes versus the same colors. Now, if you want to do all the same colors and shapes, then that's you. But I just feel like I've made a big mess and it's more confusing. And it's not that pleasing for me to have to go through each time to try to figure out how I want to work through my projects. So that's my only suggestion to you. So we're going to do four. I think we're going to do four. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece right here and adjust it. So we're going to put these here. So we got 1, 2, 3. All right. So we got 4 petals. Yes. And now you need some type of rolling device. I usually use a pencil or this little tool right here. And the only reason why I pull this out, I say this every time, is because I paid for it. It was for it to be this little simple tool. It was not super cheap, but I did use a coupon, I think, and I got it from Michael's. But I think this is discontinued now. You know, Sizzix will put something on sale to make something today and discontinue it tomorrow. You know, it's one of my main gripes. And then I also have these sculpty tools that I got from Joann Fabric with a coupon, because these things are not cheap, because you can use these are really for clay, right? Clay sculpting or whatever. But I use the biggest one or the medium one to sculpt things in my hand. The paper, manipulate the paper. So if you want, you can ball your paper up, or you could just use your hand and then go around, and eventually it will curl up. So that is just what I use. Today we're going to be using the back of these to make the purple stand out. So we got these two. We want to use these two first. And at the end we'll do all our flat back gems at one time, I think. So I'm just using my hand. You could use a foam mat. They have a mat like this. And it's for paper crafting, of course. But you could use a regular foam mat. I think sometimes we get so stuck on, oh, it's a paper crafting item. And the paper crafting, from what I've noticed, is expensive. Whereas you go into the kids foam section and you can get it for like $2 or $3. But I think it's called the Crafter's Secret. Like the stamping, it's a stamping thing. And it's like a piercing mat, and you can, I can't remember the proper name of it, but you do that to it, what I'm doing in my hand. And it's not cheap. That's all I'll say. So we got the 3 pieces curled up, and now what we're going to do is we're going to uncurl them. I always do that. The reason why I curl them up first is so you can break up those fibers, and also you want to see how it's going to look. Now the thing that I have to be mindful of is that I did use a funky sheet of paper, because this side, to be quite honest, is not that interesting either. It's just a bunch of little lines, but people may like those little lines, so I'm not poo-pooing on your like. And then the other side is smiley faces. So if you're a teacher, you could make like a little card, names, and have the kids write their names on it. So another thing that could be beneficial for people that use emojis. I'm not a big emoji person unless I'm like displaying my angst against something. Um, So we're going to do them in 3 different ways, and you can decide which way you like the best. Okay, so we got those 3. And I always tend to just generally use 3 flower petals because in my head, it makes sense. But it really doesn't make sense. You can put as many or as least as you like on your creation. You know, I am from Texas, so go, you know, go big or go home, right? I guess that's why I stay home, because sometimes all of that is not impressive to me. Now, I'm having some dexterity issues right now with how I want to have everything set up. Not personal dexterity issues, just how I have things laid out. I'm not sure if this is the good setup, or if I'm just going to cause myself to have issues, right? I had turned on the glue gun, and I forgot it was sitting there for like 15-20 minutes, and I wasn't doing anything yet. And I was like, oh, that's not smart, because you know, even the best glue guns over time will start to ooze, and you don't want that. So then I turned it off. So it's like on that cool down thing right now, like it's cooling down, and then I'm like, get back hot, crank back up. All right, so then, you know, we just did this portion on our flowers, and so now what we're gonna do is just adjust them. I really enjoy making the flowers a lot, because you can do whatever. You know, if you are like really good at making flowers, you can do so many different things with paper to create some beautiful flowers. Now, I do want to get into some other flower making options, but I will tell you that I do not, even though I have in the past, but I just don't like it. I'm not into burning the fabric. I'm not into that. So now we're going to take our curling tool, and we're going to go right into the center and just coil it around. And you can see the difference besides creating that little this effect versus this. And you can decide which one you like. If you like this thing, you don't need it. You could use that's too big. You can use a pencil, a pen, the end of a paintbrush, if you like. And sometimes the non tool will curl a lot easier for you than the actual tool itself, just because you can, you know, I can grab this piece a lot easier than putting this in here and making sure I don't tear that one edge. We didn't call this one, but we're calling all of these on this flower. All right. So then if you want to, you can come back in with your hand and call this centerpiece now that you have them kind of how you want it. But we're not calling. We're going to, you know, we're going to pick which one we like the best. And see. All right. And all these petals were made on the scan and cut. If you have a die cutting machine, or electronic, you know, paper cutting machine, you could do that. Especially if you have like 2 or 3 pages, loading pages, you can definitely load the pages up first, and then as one comes off, load another one. Load one up as another one comes off. I don't have the newest scan and cut machine, so I can't tell you how exhilarating it would be to have a 12 by 24 sheet of paper, you know, 3 or 4 layers going at one time. But other people may experience that. I have not seen Scan and Cut come out with any new machines, which is great, because what I really wish, and I know this is begging and reaching, I wish the machines would be backwards compatible with the materials, because the stuff that you pay for your Cricut, Silhouette, Scan and Cut, and then what is it, Forge, that Forge thing is like, ooh, powerful. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take, I don't even remember which one was which now. That's okay. It won't matter. You can just decide. I should have paid. Okay, this is the one that we called in our hand. This is the one that we did around. Yep, there we go. All right, so now we're just going to take this one. We're going to leave this one flat and call at the end. Stuff does get hot. I work on our glue boogers. Oh. Have you ever left a review for a product like online and then you get a message later saying, well, does it do this? I have. And when I go to answer, because I'm horrible with email. Unless someone tells me we sent you a message, I really don't check it that often. I check it once a day, early in the morning when I first wake up, though, and then I'll check it maybe twice. I always check it for the Peachy Cheap deals, but I just go straight to Peachy Cheap. I'm not reading all the messages. But I just recently did an appeal for my taxes on my house, and I got a message saying we received your appeal. Here's the evidence. So now I'm just waiting on them to tell me why my property tax is so daggone high. So here we go. So the Nextdoor app is good for some things and not others, because a lot of times it's just junk messages that people are putting on there. All right, so we have made our little flower. I want to curl this a little bit more. And so if you want to curl it tighter, you need a tighter brush, a smaller circle. Now, if you're a quiller, then you already know all these techniques, right? This is nothing new. You can use tape. You don't have to use a hot glue. I feel like the hot glue just allows me to manipulate the paper a lot better, though, than glue. But, you know, glue, in my opinion, is better than hot glue over time. So, you know, for fast acting, you could use hot glue. But over time, paper glue, wet glue, is the best. All right, so now we're just going to take these remaining little petals, and I think I have enough. Yeah, I have enough for one more. Just going to use that one, this, and that. Staying true to the 4-petal piece, but now we're going to insert another color. And that's the beauty of having paper with different patterns and colors on it. You can go crazy, right? So we're gonna do that. I like this paper. I don't know what it was on there, but I like that design a lot. Just call me different. All right, so we're gonna do down, up. Then we're gonna put this up. So this is gonna have 5 pieces on it, okay? And this will have not 5 because I don't have all those pieces. So we're just gonna have 4 on there, and we're gonna put these to the side. All right, so let's get into that one, and we're gonna just manipulate the paper so you can decide. I think paper manipulation is amazing. You know, you take a plain regular sheet of paper and you turn it into something a little bit better. My center is always kind of off a bit. I had a crazy dream a few days ago. Well, it wasn't crazy like, oh, it was a bad dream, but it was a dream, right? And I called my uncle. We talked about it. And he's like, I'm going to come see you. I was like, you don't have to come and visit me. We're going to come to Houston. I just don't like to drive to Houston and turn around, because that's usually how it works. So I'll get up early in the morning, like 3 or 4, make sure everything's good to go, feed Nicholas, and then I will get the boy. Then we'll drive to Houston, and we'll stay until like 5 or 6 in the afternoon. And, you know, during those fall and winter months, it gets darker faster than the summer and the spring and summer months. So then I'll turn right back around and get on the road, and by the time we get home, it's nighttime, and I'm tired. Like I've been up since like 3 in the mornings, and then I don't sleep that well the night before because I'm planning out everything. So it's just rough for me to do that trip. And you know, my little guy, he doesn't understand that. He's like, he wants to go to Houston all the dang time. So we're going to use 8 of these petals, these little 5-petal flowers. You can use this on your Scan and Cut. I know for a fact Scan and Cut actually has a 5-petal template. You just have to type in flower and pull up the flower and see how it looks. And then I'm not sure about the other machines, but they also have free 5-petal templates on the internet. You just got to type in 5-petal template, or you can get your paper punch. And so now we're going to fold these corners in on themselves, and we're going to do the 3 because the 3 are our middle piece, I guess, the bud for the most part. And this goes really fast, so we'll just put that to the side. We don't need that right now. It just depends on how you want to do it. And the thing about this flower is, even though you can go online and watch people make it, everyone has the same exact technique for the most part, so that's a really good thing. All you're doing is just gluing these pieces down to start off with. I know I did a quick little tutorial, I guess a rehash of the one that I had posted. And I always tell my friend, did you make a tutorial? And she's like, no, it's many tutorials out there. I'm like, yeah, but some people may not understand the tutorial that person created. So, like when I learn something from a creator, I never take credit for doing it. Now, we do have, in general, we do have ideas that are similar to other people. So that's something that you have to keep in mind. You may think, so we're just going to put that right in the middle, just like that. And we're going to repeat that process. But now I'm just going to do 1 petal versus 2. You may feel like your creation is the original. And of course, you don't have to go around in YouTube and just say, oh, so-and-so in 1987 made a video and it's grainy and here's mine. You can make whatever video you want as long as you give proper, proper credit or a link or whatever. Some people don't do that. I've been hearing about that kind of stuff in the community, and I think a lot of people have that happen to them in the smaller community versus if you're a small craft channel, like my channel is smaller in comparison to other people or more popular channels. And I've actually had that happen to me before. And I didn't get upset. I was upset and I told my friends, but I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to be vindictive and say, oh, you stole my idea. Because I'm quite sure it probably wasn't my idea in the first place. I thought about it, but I was using someone else's material, so they probably was like, oh yeah, these could be used for this and or that. So you can see how your bottom piece, if you don't fold it all the way up, you could have what I'm having now is I feel like the immature bud is growing out, which it shouldn't be like that. I should make it, the petal, that centerpiece, a little bit more smaller so I can get 3 around nicely. But you know what? It's okay. It's not perfect. Even though all the flowers that are created by the creator are perfect, some of them are different. Each thing is different. We're all unique. And so are my flowers. Put this to the side. All right. I use a lot of glue that round. You don't have to use that much glue. You can definitely get 2 petals and use 1 thing of glue. I do not like this piece. So in my head, all of my centerpieces should not show. You shouldn't see these pieces at the bottom until maybe on the 4th petal, and that's where we are now. So what I want to make sure is that this petal is in the open area. And the open area just means that it's not covering that piece. And so I'm going to just glue that there. You can put your glue anywhere you want in the center of your piece that you're putting down or the center that you are attaching. So you can put on the flat piece or the already formed piece. And now I'm just going to curl these up and smush it in my hand like this. This paper that I'm using, I think is Doris. I think it's Doris basic textures, or either the one that's right after basic that has pink, because pink is in a basic color. So whatever the one right after pink, I mean the basic colors. And there you have it. Now, what you could do right now is decide on how open you want your flower to be. If you want your flower to be really open, then I would suggest coiling it now, right? Coil it. But we're going to keep ours fairly closed. We want to keep this fairly closed. And so now we're just going to come back, and I'm going to put a dot right here. Now, where you want to put your dots at is where you want your paper to fold out. So, for example, if I want my paper to fold out here, then that's where I put my dot. The higher up, the less folding out or coiling of your flower you will get. Hopefully that makes sense. It's early for me. I didn't sleep well last night, so wording is difficult. But we're going to get there in the end, right? We're going to get there in the end. And you see how I just skipped that one petal of glue, and now I have it on this one, because this petal will cover both sides. And we're good to go. This should be underneath though, not on top. All right. So I've been playing a new video game. It is kicking my butt. I'm left-handed, as you all know. So left-handed, I mean, they don't really create a lot of ambidextrous hand play games. So what I meant earlier about putting it here, you can just put the glue right here if you like, and then apply this on. Most of the games are right-handed, and left-handed people just have to adjust to the game itself. And I am a non-conformist in some ways, and I refuse to have a game stress me out. The thing is, it was gifted to me, and it's like a multiplayer cooperative type of game. And so I don't want to not play it, because I like playing with my friends that I am in their group, the guild. I know I'm nerding out right now, right? On both paper and electronics. But nonetheless, I'm a little bit disappointed in the game in that aspect. So now what I'm going to do is just glue these down. I think that's why this particular flower making video is so short. It's like a 8-minute video, because the person doesn't talk. And I find that if you, why'd you do that? I find that if you talk doing your tutorials, sometimes it could be longer. But you know, we're just chit-chatting, hanging out. I guess I'm not really doing a tutorial, but I'm just showing you how I do it, because I do want to get some rosebuds in the game. If you're a Sims player, you know what that is referred to. Oh my goodness. So anyway, the game that I am currently struggling on, the controls is so many different control. It's like being an American with too many options, and all we love to do is complain about everything. I think that's the state of the world sometimes, is that you have so many options to choose from and do, that really all you do is complain and gripe about all the wonderful options that we have. And then other countries, they don't have those options. They're not trying to do a revolt, a mutiny or whatever. Not publicly, at least. Whereas we're like, yeah, you know, we're complaining about a lot of stuff. And this is in general, not the current situation. I think every year we have some kind of gripe, something that we're not happy about. And that's fine. We can always not be happy about certain things. But at some point, we got to say, okay, am I part of the problem, or am I part of the solution? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave. We only need to get 7. Ooh, that might be good. We could do 7. I actually kind of like it like this, so we'll do 7. I think 8 is a bit much. 8 is enough, right? Y'all remember that TV show? I always say that, don't I? I don't remember it that well. I remember the Brady Bunch. 8 is enough. Oh. Seventh Heaven. You know, a lot of the shows that have a whole bunch of kids in them. Okay, I know I didn't glue the other one down. Don't worry. We're going to adjust, because I want those to kind of fall out. I want the petal, I want it to kind of be like displaying, open up, splaying out. So what I'm doing is I'm just pressing really hard and I am manipulating the papers all at once. And now we're going to coil. And I turned the glue gun off just because I feel like we may not need to glue these petals down, and we will see. Because I want to coil them pretty tightly. I was watching, I had another video game reference. I had purchased a video game and I didn't like the functionality of it, so I just watched it on YouTube and I was like, I wouldn't have chose that selection. I was just thinking about calling it. It's a Sherlock Holmes calling. Yes, it's a Sherlock Holmes game. So you see how we're going back into the third one and we're just peeling it down some. And that one's glued down, so we don't have that option. Now, if you want to, you can go and look at it and say, okay, yeah, I think I want to glue this side, or I want to glue this side. Like right here, I think we're going to glue this piece in. And even though the glue gun is off, it's still, you know, it still has that hot glue in that part of the chamber, so we should be good. Yep. And once more right here. So I'm just putting glue on one, and I'm just pushing the petals, the paper that doesn't have any, and all the glue, all the space that can attach will attach. All right. So there we go with that. Today I have to go to the animal hospital and get some cat food for Nicholas, because the cat food that he's on is a special diet for urinary infection as well as obesity. And Purina, raw cannon. Yeah, I think Purina is raw cannon though. They are low on whatever it is, like one of the ingredients, probably some weird ingredient is low. So you see how it's kind of like lopsided right here? That's fine. This is not the prettiest one, but when you put it next to like 3 or 4 other pretty ones, they'll all blend in. So there's no need to fret over one not looking good and the other one's looking great, because they're all going to look marvelous together. Now we're going to take our flat piece, and you can decide right now, do you like the flat one or do you like the semi decorated one, the semi puffed out one? And we're going to just use our paintbrush. You know, I always tell you all, you don't need any fancy tools to get stuff coiled. You know, the basic things that you need, I would say, is a good pair of scissors to you. It doesn't have to be the best pair on the market, but scissors that will work for what you need them to work. A good cutting paper trimmer, and good glue, whichever glue you think is the best for you. Because, you know, I've seen people use different glues and I'm like, oh, I really want to try that. But I'm like, let's go back to the basics. Like I like Aleene's because it's readily available. I don't have to order it online. I can go to the Dollar Tree sometimes and get it from the Dollar Tree. Or I can go to Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Joann Fabric. And Michael's has this bottle, I think, for $2.99. I mean, you can't really beat that. But if you go to Joann Fabric, I don't know if they have that particular bottle, but you can get it, you know, you can use your coupon and get it half off. So just something you can look into. And I would say a good ink. I think I'm still looking for a great ink. I like the Ranger archival ink, but then when I use my pencils, you know, it's kind of like hit or miss if they're going to run or not. My pens, my inks, my alcohol marker. So yeah. And I really like the Arteza. I know recently I saw some videos in my suggested box saying that Arteza, some of them are not great due to the pandemic. I think a lot of times we have to remember that a lot of these things are outsourced. And by them being outsourced, they're not going to, especially at the beginning of last year, you know, I'm not sure how companies are ordering that stuff, but usually companies order stuff or plan out things well ahead of time. So if you bought some, they could have been good to go, and now they're not good to go. We're going to just use some regular flatback pearls. They're called gems, and I got these on clearance last year from Hobby Lobby, and this one's too big. I want a medium size one. Is that the same size? Let's see. Yeah, that's okay. That's not too bad. I always struggle with that. That's my struggle point. I must say that I do like this one a lot better, even though it's only 4 pieces. This one right here is like rebelling against me. I refuse to fight paper. But I'm choosing this little flatback gem. I got it. It looks like this. But I do want to use these pearls because I was like, yes, when I saw the pearls on sale, I was like, I'm gonna make more flowers with easier centerpieces than what I've been doing in the past. But I also am going to try and do some button projects this month. I mean, we're in the 6th month of the year, and I have yet to do a button project. I think I've used buttons. I actually have to sew a button on a big roommate's pant, and that was that. So what I would say about this is make sure you put these things in the middle. If you don't put them in the middle, it's gonna look a little bit weird. Okay. So the glue gun is not hot, and it's creating more and more of the glue booger. So make sure you have a hot enough glue gun. I wouldn't say one is gonna burn your fingers unless that's what you really want to do. Let's see if she can get this on without burning. I had a hippie shakes today, so I don't know. Anyway, I should have used this on my embellishments on the 11th, huh? But I've already did flowers. Even though I don't think there's nothing wrong with doing a repeat craft. My little rose is just sitting over there by itself. Anyway, this is our project for today for Not Creda. Tell me what y'all think about the name. Now, the video that I actually decided on it being Not Creda hasn't been released yet, but it's coming soon. Anyway, we made 6 flowers. Oh my goodness, 6 flowers in 30 minutes. All right. So thank you all for watching. This one's going to give me problems. I want to say thank you for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.